It's time to spill the tea.
Hello!
You there, and welcome to
A Spoonful of Theatre! And this is another one of our Spill the Tea theatre review podcasts, where we review a piece of theatre right outside the theatre. I'm TJ, theatre practitioner and director.
And I'm Sam, a teacher of language, literature, and self-proclaimed show business lover.
Now, we are outside the Sands Theatre, and Sam, what did we just watch?
We have just seen Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the musical.
We did
We did.
indeed. So, Sam, first thoughts.
Oh, why am I going first? Okay, let me put this in two parts. The 5-year-old in me is very happy.
Mm-hmm.
The 40-year-old in me is very disappointed. And the reason I say that is this is a musical made for kids. It's a musical made for families. You cannot deny that. There is magic, there is sleight of hand, there is illusion, there's that Roald Dahlian gruesomeness as well. The 40-year-old in me, one of my favorite and earliest childhood memories of watching movies was the 1970s version of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with the amazing late great Gene Wilder. And I went in there with a bit of expectation of nostalgia. It was there. There were even some nods to the Johnny Depp movie as well. But ultimately there was just a lot of things wrong with the production that really just disappointed me, I'm sorry to say. Anyway, first thoughts to you, TJ.
Well, I thought it was less golden ticket and more discount ticket, honestly. Honestly, like, I saw this when it was originally on in the West End.
Ah, right.
So that was the original version of this iteration of this show. It was production spectacle. The sets, the grandeur, the magic, and this touring production just brought everything down to such a basic set level.
Oh, no, yes.
And relied so much on those bloody screens. And it was like doing set through clip art. Honestly, genuinely, like, the projections at times are literally, I remember making that when I was in primary school on Word clip art and trying to animate things, like, just cheap. And that spectacle that you got in the West End just wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to jump straight into script because actually this has been a thing about this show since it premiered in the early 2010s. The script and the songs themselves in this particular version are not that inspiring. Act 1 is notoriously draggy.
Yes, quite agree.
And when you take the spectacle element out of it, it's just left with very little. So I think it just takes what is a magical and mystical and wondrous story to quite a boring hour.
Yeah, I quite agree. Coming out of Act 1, I thought of one word: lifeless.
Yeah.
That's what I really thought, and I completely agree with you with the overuse of visual elements rather than physical staging, and where that was most felt was in the chocolate room.
Yeah.
Which is in the movie the most magical part.
Yeah.
Like you see that chocolate room, and you think it's tangible. You can touch it. Well, not in that. It's on a blooming screen.
Yeah.
And as I say, bare bones.
I felt like what those people must have felt in the Scottish Experience that went viral. It was like, where's the rest of it? Like, where's the set?
If you don't know what we're referring to,
I'll put a picture on the screen now.
There was a viral story in the UK about a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Willy Wonka experience that was like one lollipop. Just look it up online.
Yeah. Lifeless was a really great word. But it's really interesting because actually one of my highlights was the ensemble.
Yes.
Because the dancers and that ensemble were fantastic. They were the best performers on stage for me. But they're never seen. They're seen like twice in Act 1. And the things that is written in the songs for them isn't very interesting. So you're left with the first 15 minutes of the show being driven by Willy Wonka out of character as the chocolate shop, and then Charlie, and it was just a bit boring. And it's not a great pizzazzy start to an act, and then it just continues through the rest of Act 1. So yeah, for me, I'm just like they've really underused that ensemble.
As the Oompa Loompas was the highlight of the show. It was brilliant. It was hilarious, and it was so cleverly done. I really, really enjoyed that. I'm glad you mentioned. You've given a spoiler, to be honest with you, but I'm glad you've mentioned it, of Willy Wonka coming out right at the very beginning and becoming the Candyman, the shop assistant. Yeah. That annoyed me. It really annoyed me narratively, for the simple reason, when you think of the Gene Wilder movie from the 1970s, a good 30, 40 minutes, you don't see Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
It's all mystery. You don't know what he looks like. You don't know who he is. It's just absolute mystery.
Yeah.
That is completely lost in this production because he's there from the very beginning, and yet throughout the first act it alludes to the mystery of Willy Wonka, even though he's on the blooming stage. It just ruins the magic. And again, nothing against the cast in that respect, it's just narratively speaking or choices in the storytelling that just didn't work for me.
Do you know what? It's funny you say the Oompa Loompas. I think the first moment you see what the Oompa Loompas look like in the show, it's really funny and it's really mystical, and it's what they do in Shrek as well with the Duloc as well. It's kind of a very similar. They use the similar sort of trope to make the small people. But I felt actually for all of Act 2, they were restricted with that. It was funny the first time I saw it, but then these amazing dancers couldn't do anything other than the puppeting and miming. And I think every time you saw them, it just got a bit, okay, I've seen that already. So then there was no big grandeur or spectacle to the big dance numbers that the Oompa Loompas do, because you've already seen it a few times. So it, again, just dragged the pace a lot. When you don't have these big set pieces as spectacle, it just made it very slow.
Talking of pacing and slow, there is one moment that should have been slower, but really wasn't. And that is Charlie getting the golden ticket. Now, again, in the movie, that entire sequence is about 15 minutes long, and the villain is involved, which in this production, there's a lack of a villain, which is very noticeable. There's a lack of a villain. Anyway, in the movie, it's about 15 minutes of Charlie's suspense of the golden ticket. In this, whoop, oh, I've got a golden ticket. Okay, bye.
Honestly, that was the moment. I was just like, how? When you're writing and putting this show together, do you think, oh, we'll just skip over that moment? Like, it's kind of the point of the show. Like, him getting the golden ticket. And he literally just, like, gets his chocolate bar, opens it up. Oh, I've got one. And lights go off and go. Like, not even a big grand, like, piece of music. No, like, even they didn't really use the projector at that point. It just went golden ticket and move on. Yeah. And it was just like, where's the wonder? Like, that's the most important moment of this entire story.
Yes.
So yeah, it was really lackluster.
Yes.
Like, really lackluster. Let's get into a few more of the cast. So we've said we both love the ensemble.
Yes.
What did you think of Mr. Wonka?
Forgettable. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to say that. Forgettable. And I will declare my bias with this one, because as I said at the very beginning of this review, I have such nostalgia for the Gene Wilder movie that I may be holding the gentleman playing Willy Wonka here to an unfair bar. I'm sorry, I don't know the member of the cast name, because we didn't buy a program, because who has $30 to buy a program in this economy? And not only that, there was no cast list outside or the headshots or anything like that. So the gentleman playing Willy Wonka, I don't want to hold him to an unfair bar, but he played him in a way as a man that was half mad. I think of the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, where the thing about Willy Wonka, and I think this is what Roald Dahl was trying to do, is that you can't trust him.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to trust him. You don't know what he's going to do next, which there was in that, but it was done in a more I'm half mad kind of way rather than I'm conniving in a childlike way, which I think is what who Willy Wonka is.
Yeah.
What did you think?
A lack of charisma.
Right.
We didn't particularly take the stage. But I think most of all, the thing that I got really frustrated with is Pure Imagination, which is one of the main songs that's been taken from the original movie into this song. The first time he sang it, he sang the first 4 notes of the song out of key.
Right.
And I just can't forgive that. So the "Come With Me" was just not those notes. And then towards the end as well, the last song where he sings with Charlie, the harmonies and the tone just didn't gel. So yeah, I think for me, forgettable. I think the job was done, but there was definitely some issues today with some of the vocals. Such an iconic character that holds the show together. Like in Broadway, it was Christian Borle who played him.
Right.
So you need that sort of charisma within that character. But a standout for me actually, which was a supporting character, was actually Charlie's mum. And I think she actually sang my favorite song in the show today. Fantastic actress, and she really took the stage at that moment. And actually that's the song I'll remember, which is probably not supposed to be the song I'm going to remember, but that was the song I will remember. By
the same token, the standout performance to me tonight was Mrs. TV. Mike TV's mum. I thought she was brilliant. The way she sang, the way she did play that 1950s trad wife. I thought she played it beautifully and really stand out. Not forgetting, of course, though, Charlie. What did you think of Charlie?
Charlie did a great job. I think he absolutely tried his best. There is a lot asked of these young actors when they play a role like Charlie, and the young actor, who we don't know his name, but I think he did a good job today, so well done, buddy. I
quite agree. I mean, he was on the stage about 80% of the time, and I think that's one of the first times for me that I have seen a young actor of 11, 12, 13 years old stay on stage for that amount of time. So kudos to that young gentleman. Well done, you.
And actually all the other kids are actually adult performers, not child performers. And to be honest, most of the kids, I had not a clue what they were saying.
Yes.
Violet Beauregard's song, I couldn't tell you a word of that song. Like, genuinely, it was so mumbled. Same with all of them.
Yes,
all of their intro songs. And by the way, that whole moment is very repetitive. Like with the we got another big song now, and like that in Act 1, I just got really bored of that. I mean, obviously that's the story, but it was just like, okay, right, we've got to go through another song. The TV reporters are going to come back out. Then we got another song, but just couldn't hear the diction in that section. Like really just struggled to keep up with the story whatsoever.
I quite agree with you. I think sound was a real issue tonight. And as we saw with the comments from Les Mis, a lot of you commented that the sound is awful in the Sands Theatre. I quite agree, and it was awful tonight, so much so that I could not make out a single word of any of the kids, and it took it out of their performance, and I feel sorry for the performers in that respect, because it's not their fault when they're slogging their guts off on stage that we as the audience can't understand a word of it because of the sound system. The orchestra at times was very overpowering. The drummer was very, very keen of his job tonight. But as a result, there were so many of the songs tonight that I just could not understand a word. And as I say, that really disappointed me.
Yeah.
Now then, ladies and gentlemen, as you know by now, when TJ and I go and see a piece of theatre here in Singapore, we always give it a rating out of 5 spoonfuls. But we never reveal how many spoonfuls we are going to give until the moment has come, and that moment is now. So are you ready, TJ?
I'm ready.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay. I actually thought you were going to be lower. So, okay, we are both on a 2. Why are we a 2 tonight, TJ?
A 2 because I am acknowledging the effort of the cast, especially the ensemble. there was definitely an energy from them that they gave it their all, but it is just a material that is, if you don't make it a spectacle like it was originally, then it has not very much to it. And I think it's gonna be I think it's going to be great for the kids, but at the same time, there are a lot better kids shows out there that are going to wow the kids even more. Because of the use of screens and everything, it just took away the magic, because kids are not wowed by screens these days. They're not. They see screens all the time.
Very true.
So I don't think it's going to have the same magic, and the theatre felt really dead. Like, the audience did not. You can sense in a room when a show has been a rapturous wow, we've loved this. That was not the energy in the theatre tonight. And I think a 2 is fair. But no more than a 2 for me.
I quite agree with you. Out of respect for the cast, because I do think the cast worked hard tonight, but they were let down by the sound, certainly. And as you say, the production itself is very, very bare bones. And also the story just doesn't do the original material justice, in my opinion.
For me, just another underwhelming tour coming to the Sands Theatre. And I'd say if you get a decent discount on it and you've got a night free, go and see it. Otherwise, catch some of the other amazing local theatre productions going on in Singapore the next few weeks.
And if you want to catch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory here at the Sands Theatre, it is playing until the 14th of June.
You can get your tickets on SISTIC or Klook.
Right, my tea's gone cold, love. Shall we leave it there?
Let's.
So that's cheerio from us. We'll be back soon.
And it's hurrah from me.
And to the cast and crew of Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the musical.
And to anybody else performing in Singapore theatre,
Break a leg.